All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a 49er video as we update you on everything that happened today in 49er land. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera, and potentially a third location coming. But right now, Corte Madera and Emeryville, they're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out, so get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. And we should tell you, this 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and, of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. I love those guys. They do an incredible job. All right, let's get into the review of everything that happened today in 49er land. The Niners were back on the practice field getting ready to take on the Seattle Seahawks Sunday at Lumen Field in Seattle, where 53% of the tickets have been sold to 49er fans. So you may have a sea of red, I should say, in Seattle at Lumen Field on Sunday. Now, today at practice, Jordan Watkins and Yetur Gross-Matos both returned to practice. Watkins has got a high ankle sprain, and Yetur Gross-Matos, I believe, still has a knee problem. He's had it all summer. Neither of those guys practiced yesterday. Both of them practiced today. Definitely good news if you were hoping that they're going to play on Sunday, and I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't think Watkins is going to go, but Yetur Gross-Matos very well could. Now, a couple other NFL notes that apply to the Niners or could be of interest to 49er fans. Amari Cooper, all this talk about go sign Amari Cooper, get Amari Cooper, get Amari Cooper. I mean, my goodness, how many people said that this summer and this offseason? Get Amari Cooper. Well, Amari Cooper signed with the Raiders, and then he worked out last week. He looked incredibly slow. I mean, he just looked like he was done. And today he retired officially from the NFL. So Amari Cooper probably saw the footage of him working out and said, "Hey, man, that's not me. I don't look like that guy. I don't look like my fast self." He's lost all of his explosiveness, all of his movement ability. So he calls it quits. So another receiver option for the 49ers goes by the wayside. Now, the 49ers, according to an internet rumor, and I don't know that it's anything more than an internet rumor, but I did read this morning that the Niners may have offered Jauan Jennings 3 years at $16 million per year, so roughly $48 million total. Instead, according to the internet rumor, Jennings opted for a 1-year raise, with the master plan being to hit that free agent market next March. So Jennings is set to earn $10.5 million if he hits the new incentives in his contract. It's a $3 million bump up from his $7.5 million base salary, and it's a nice compromise. It gives the 49ers an ability to give him a few more dollars, but then he doesn't have to bypass his free agency. They don't have to cross the bridge of the bad precedent of ripping up his $7.5 million contract, and it's a nice little compromise. Also, John Lynch said that the Niners and Jennings continue to work towards a longer-term deal. Now, I don't know if one will come about or not before free agency, but according to Lynch, he told KMBR this morning that the 49ers and JJ's representative, Drew Rosenhaus, will continue to negotiate on a long-term deal for the veteran wide receiver. Lynch also commended JJ for how he handled the contract hold-in, and made the point, hey, we want to keep him here for a while. So it's not just about this year for the Niners. They'd like JJ here long term, and of course we all know that because he's their guy. I mean, Lynch, how many receivers would be John Lynch's favorite player? Not many. And why does he love JJ? Because he's tough and competitive, and he shows up to win. And that's kind of the overarching theme of his career. Uniform-wise, by the way, the Niners are going to be wearing white jerseys with the gold pants in Seattle on Sunday. One other Lynch note, I thought probably the most interesting thing that he said today was when he was asked about the Niners' mindset coming off of last year's 6-win year and coming into this year. And this is kind of where John, is as the GM of the team, he can be the tone setter in a lot of ways. And he said, we got punched in the mouth in 2024 and we have to respond. And I think it's good imagery, and it's well stated by Lynch. The Niners did. They got punched in the mouth. And it wasn't a good year. They won 6 games. They finished, limping home, all kinds of guys injured, and they have to respond. And how they respond will really determine what kind of year this is going to be. So I thought that was really interesting. And to hear him say that, hey man, we got punched in the mouth last year and we got to respond. Really kind of paints the picture of where the 49ers see themselves going into this season. A couple other Niner notes. The 49ers yesterday waived Tanner Mordecai with an injury settlement. So Mordecai is no longer with the franchise. Jerry Rice went on the radio on 95.7 The Game and said that the fans ought to dial back and the Niners ought to dial back their expectation level for Brandon Aiyuk in this upcoming year in 2025 because he's coming off the ACL, MCL, meniscus. Jerry said that he wasn't the same until really 2 years after the injury. And I think it's probably smart for the Niners to play it very, very conservative with Brandon Aiyuk. There's no reason at all to rush Aiyuk back. None. Why? Because this is his career in the balance. He's a young man. He's got a lot of football ahead of him. Is this year important? Yeah, but it's not more important than his long-term health or his long-term football, best interest. And so I've said that I think he'll be back. People said, oh, he's going to be back week 1. No, that was always never going to be possible. You got hurt in week 7. I mean, to say he was going to be back in anything less than a year is crazy. So I would say you're probably looking at week 10, week 12, somewhere in there, somewhere around Thanksgiving. I think Aiyuk is likely to return, and I hope they're very circumspect about putting him on the field. Don't rush him back. If he needs 2 weeks, give him 3. If he needs 3 weeks, give him 4. If he needs 4 weeks, give him 6. You know what I'm saying? It's like, give him a wide berth. Give him an ability to – we know he wants to play. Heck, you can see it when he's out there at practice now. He badly wants to get back with his guys. He badly wants to get on the field. As a pro football player, you feel almost irrelevant if you aren't on the football field. So I'm sure Aiyuk is having all those feelings right now, but he's got to resist the urge to get back too soon. The Niners have to resist the urge to try to put him back too soon. The recurrence of this injury would be devastating to the 49ers, to their cap, to Aiyuk, to his future, maybe to his entire career. Do not take any chances with Brandon Aiyuk's career. Do not. I want him back. Yeah, I want him back now. I'd love to have him back in October. I'd love to have him back November 1st, whatever. But give him all of the time that he needs and make sure that he's ready to come back before you bring him back. The last thing you want is any kind of a recurrence of that injury. It just would be a disastrous situation. And one other note that I thought was interesting today as well, and that is Jeremy Fowler of ESPN was asked which NFL player he sees coming out of seemingly nowhere to make an impact, maybe as soon as week 1. And he looked at the entire league and he said, Ricky Pearsall. How about that? He says Ricky Pearsall is the guy that's going to come out of nowhere and make a big impact. Former first-round pick, obviously got shot in his rookie year, before his rookie year, had some rough patch trying to get used to the speed of the game, then really had 2 fantastic games late in the year and has been outstanding on the practice field all summer long. What can Ricky Pearsall bring to the Niners? And can he be all season long what he was at the end of last year? If he is that kind of player, man, that's going to be a huge, huge shot in the arm for the 49ers. So very interesting note there from Jeremy Fowler. All right. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.